He led us from our heart here in this chamber. He respected us all, took an interest in us all, and in all the communities we represented. Rhodri was the man who led his country with passion and realism, and he swam quietly with the dolphins.
Rhodri was a great sports fan, as we know. And I first had experience of the wit that he had, because the game was being played on what seemed to be a public park. Behind the post there were no terraces, no stands, but woodland. And Rhodri, in the course of the game, had to say, "I've never seen such a well camouflaged crowd."
When I first met Rhodri, and he was busily barricading his garden out to try and stop my cattle going into his garden. And I have to say, as a farmer, you normally get used to quite a few irate individuals when your cattle are doing a merry dance on their garden. Rhodri was more interested in what type of cattle they were and the ultimate destination of where those cattle might be going.
He was a politician that people could relate to. He had a dry and memorable sense of humour. But beyond his personality, those people who were close to him can also be very proud of his political legacy.
I overlapped in the House of Commons with Rhodri for 10 years, from 1987 to 1997, and despite our political differences, Rhodri was an engaging and genial companion who always had time to talk. He was a gentleman and a gentleman.
There was great honour in the leadership that he brought to this place, and to the very notion of Welsh self-government. Those of us here back in those awkward few months and years of Welsh democracy, we will always remember and be thankful for the skill and the steadiness that he brought to this institution.
Into the first house, Rhodri would disappear. Sue, Jane or I would proceed to call on each of the remaining 11. Every one of them disappointed to see us, every one of them hoping to see Rhodri. 3/4 of an hour later, we would return to the first house. There would be the Member of Parliament for Cardiff West, a plate of Welsh cakes, 2 cups of tea, 3 cousins discovered to be in common. They thought he was wonderful. And of course, they were right.
He was a great gardener. Many people in this chamber and outside will have the experience of going to Rhodri's house and being presented, quite often with a cabbage from the garden, fresh from the soil, often with the soil still on it, I remember. But he delighted in that, and his pride in his garden was something that was obvious to all.
He was full of the unexpected. He completely floored me as his Rural Affairs Minister when he asked me across the Cabinet table for an update on how I intended to deal with an invasion of salmon-eating jellyfish.
Wythnos diwethaf, fe gollon ni un o gewri'r genedl. Mae e wedi mynd, ond mae ei enw fe, wrth gwrs, wedi ysgrifennu mewn un hanes.